Hi everyone, today I'm going to write the series of videos for December. December is a special month when we're trying to accomplish and organize all our cases, all what was done for the year. We're trying to make some stuffs till an end and others. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. The first video I prepared for you today, it's the video which would be concentrated on developing communicative competence, and I would like to talk with you and teach you how to answer for C1 or C2 level and prepare for IELTS, TOEFL and other international exams. So let's move. Imagine you received the following questions. Are you an ambitious person? Why? Why not? What is the greatest ambition for the future? Is success important to you? Do you think any of your friends or family members are particularly successful? And your question will refer as the following. It should consist of linking words, and we will discuss with you if this question is of great difficulty to you and you have an obstacle answering it straightforward, what are the methods, techniques which should be implemented? First and foremost, you need to sound as a native speaker. So native speaker not always will continue answering the question, but in most of the cases will use, well, let me think. Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Or I've never thought about this, which will give you and possibility and help you to buy time. Other than that, there are the following phrases which could be used. I'm not the best person to answer that. I can't remember off the top of my head. I haven't got a clue. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not sure. I'm probably not the best person to ask for that information. It's a mystery to me. It's beyond me. And afterwards, I would give the precise answer. Try not to run around the bush, and if the question refers to this specific matter, you just should answer that, you know, I believe that question is very difficult for me to answer because I do believe all people should be ambitious, and my parents and friends always tell me I'm ambitious because, and try to provide with some samples, some examples from your life. Other than that, if it's really difficult to answer this question directly for you. Also, it's very significant to use idioms, phrasal verbs, and other specific expressions. Let's take a look. One thing that happens once in a blue moon, but you wish it happened more often. How do you understand this phrase, once in a blue moon? You understand that it happens very rarely. One grade you get once in a blue moon. So the grade at school, the mark, you grade very rarely, not every single day. Name one summer sport that can make one black and blue. What does it mean black and blue with the idiom of color? It means like bruise, you know, on your skin. So it could be in the summer, like, you know, when people push you a lot, like rugby and others. Name one winter sport that can make one black and blue. So here about winter activities, skiing, skating and others. Can you remember any news that came out of blue last year? Came out of blue, it came out of nowhere, spontaneously, suddenly. One thing that makes you see red. So when you see red, you are enraged, you are angry. One thing that makes a teacher see red, yeah, usually what makes the teacher see red? When you're not ready with your home assignment, or when you're lying to the teacher these days because of war in Ukraine. Most of our schools are online, and in most of the cases we're working with camera off, and that's what makes or can make the teacher see red. One thing that makes you feel blue, makes you feel sad, it's the same. One cartoon character who often feels blue. From top of my head, I remember like Winnie the Pooh from childhood, if you remember this donkey. He always felt blue, and maybe from Pinocchio, the character, one of the characters also felt blue. Okay, let's move on. Other good phrases which I would like to share with you for a year. Again, I trying to mention that it's our summarizing video, and I would like to summarize and recap everything what was done for a year in terms of words and phrases. To inherit the wealth, next phrase. To perform well under exam conditions. To do your best. To set yourself a realistic target. To achieve your goal. To score well. To be determined. To be persistent. To overcome obstacles. In another word, to overcome difficulties, troubles. To live up to one's expectations. If you really agree, you can say, I strongly agree. Or, I strongly disagree. I don't feel strongly one way or the other. An achievement we should aim for. Various ways we can help. Being selfish, those who need help. Demanding schedule, or British English timetable. Severe weather conditions. To enable scientists to discover. To overcome obstacles or difficulties or troubles. Okay. Next phrases. Is more likely to. Depend on your choice. Depend on the circumstances. Depends on both. And choice and circumstances. To have a privileged upbringing. To be involved in real estate business. To become a young entrepreneur. Okay. Egypt, it will be your assignment, and I would like you to prepare the answers and make these sentences, use them in the context. They ruled Egypt for centuries. A gold-filled tomb, pay attention to this word, T-O-M-B, tomb. Identity of his family members. A serious fracture. The evidence of war injury. The evidence suggests to remain undiscovered. To preserve the remains of the ship. Leave to an infection. Disprove the theory. To carry out a CT scan. To damage occurred. The research revealed the DNA evidence. To enable the scientist in a good condition. And of course, other than that, let's try to recollect who ruled Egypt for many centuries, whose tombs are filled with gold, and what kind of evidence do scientists have about tooth illnesses? What do the evidence usually enable scientists to do? And such phrases as this tip is a piece of cake, which means easy, quite straightforward, and quite challenging.